And tonight is really an opportunity for you as leaders and service providers in the South Asian and West Asian communities to discuss issues, any concerns that you may have, any challenges that are taking place in the community.
To keep Toronto the best and safest place to be is such a testament. Community safety is not about good policing, it's about good relationships. And that is the key to success. And the way you have relationships is you have dialogues, you have discussions. And when you learn from one another, we both have an opportunity to learn what our roles and responsibilities should be within our communities. We have an opportunity to learn about the cultures and the nuances that are within those particular neighborhoods that we try to patrol. And the more we learn, the better we can properly identify what we're supposed to be doing, and we can do it in a more effective manner. And so I'm so grateful that we have so many great citizens. And I say that because when we look at some of the accomplishments that we have done as a City of Toronto, I know that they could not be done elsewhere. The Pan Am Games was a fantastic testament to me. 20,000 volunteers, 20,000 people that put their hand up. There are more than 20,000 people, but we got 20,000 people and screened 20,000 people who came in and day out, not just for the Pan Am, but for the Para-Pan Am as well, in different roles, whether it be for language skills or just for maintenance or anything, and they did it each and every day. And that's what makes us so great, the fact that everyone's so willing to contribute. So I thank the members of the City of Toronto and our GTA as well, too. I know it's not just Toronto. Canada is a great country because it understands the importance of diversity. Immigration is the #1 source of growth. And once you identify that that is the equation to our growth, then you have to understand that we are going to become more and more diverse each and every day. And when we understand that those are the principles of what makes Canada, then the second step is we have to embrace.
And from Sri Lanka, Mohammed Jahar, thank you very much to have you, sir, as well. And yes? From Ghana. Very good, very good. This is terrific, very, very nice. We've got United Nations right here, I think. Yes. From Ghana as well, okay. Yes. From where? Oh, very good. Good. Welcome. Yes. From Nepal. Very good to have you. I like your hat. Very good. Thank you. Yes. From where? From Japan. Very, very good. Welcome, welcome. Yes, sir? There's always one in the crowd, eh? There's always one. Eh? I'm glad you got your visa for Toronto. We'll speak a little slower for you. Oh, he started. Anybody else? All right. Well, to each and every one of you, a very, very special welcome. I also want to acknowledge we have a judge, a citizenship judge here as well. The Honorable Albert Wong is here. Where's Albert? He was here, I know. Oh, there he is. Judge, you should be sitting down, especially at your age. But he's actually, Albert and I know each other for a number of years. All the great work he's done in the community, and it's terrific, sir. And congratulations, by the way, on your post as well. Good to have you. All right, I would now like to invite the co-chairs of the South and West Asian Consultative Committee. Staff Superintendent, you heard from as he delivered the chair's message. But Rick Stubbings is a great guy. I've known him for a number of years. He's a very gentle man and delivers very well and is quite engaged in the community. And his co-chair is a gentleman I've known way back when I had hair for, I think, I started with Raj, so about 25 years or so. He was the first person he's a real estate agent by profession, but he was the first person to start the Canada Day celebrations, where he got the South Asian Canada Day celebrations in the community, in the GT. He was the first one. And he's a great friend. He started in his mother's name. There's a school that he started in Pakistan as well. And, you know, you talk about education is so important. Knowledge is power. And privileged children who never got education. And they launched a school. He put them through school. Now they are some of the top students in that area. I mean, that's the kind of work that this man does. He's a great community guy, and that is Mr. Haroon Khan. Please welcome Staff Superintendent Rick Stubbings and Haroon Khan.
I
think at this time, first of all, on behalf of Haroon and myself, I'd like to bring up all the other members of the committee, because we're just two of the committee. So I'd like to bring up Inspector Rick Hagedis, Zul Kazamali, Sami Apadurai, Cornelia De Cruz, Nikki Banga, Raja Kanaga, and how could I forget Johnny Bobley? Oh my God, he's actually the true leader. And I want to turn it over at this time to Haroon to talk a little bit about the committee. But I must say, I want to thank them all first publicly. They work very hard for the Chief of Police and the organization and the community broadly every day. They really, really do. The phones ring all the time. We know each other. I want you to know, we just didn't meet a couple hours ago or a couple of weeks ago. In fact, some of the members that you see here, they've been on the service longer than we have in volunteering, and that goes a long way to your own committees, your own commitment, and your own communities. So I'm going to turn it over at this point, but I want to publicly thank all of you for doing everything you do every day on behalf of Chief Saunders and myself. So thank you. Get out of the way.
Thank you, Deputy. Thank you, Chief. And thanks to all of these members. I'm surprised to see so many Council Generals and so many representatives of different countries. Jake was right, looks like a mini United Nations. Thank you so much. I just want to say that we are here, and the way we invited you is to bring to your attention that we exist. We are a committee. We are known to be South and West Asian Consultative Committee of the Chief of Police, and I think Chief Saunders is probably the 6th chief I'm serving with. But it's the great thing is with all these chiefs, unfortunately, the countries we came, I will not be sorry to say that the police there and the police here has million time difference. This police chief, I was talking to him, and the deputy chiefs and Inspector Hagedis, they are the one who ask us what are your problems are, and they are there to resolve it. We cannot do, unfortunately, in our own countries. So this is something very different, and I would like to ask you, because there's a lot of media members here, I would like to request you to please pass this message through your media that the committee exists, and this police is very different than the police we left back home. If they have any kind of problems, please come to us. And at the same time, I'm very thankful to the media. I never got the chance to thank them enough. We have got such a great covers. When we had the last function last year here, every newspaper wrote so many big articles, and because of that, we got lots of calls, and we were known in the community that we exist. So I will just tell you a little bit of things which we have achieved this year. We were a part of Khalsa Day Parade, and our Nikki Banga, she has played a very important role in that, but I was there, Deputy Chief was there, and quite a few Chief Saunders were there. So we were a part of that. Sikh Kids Summer Camp, we took part in that. We took part in the Tamil Fest. We took part in South Asian Autism Awareness Center, Walkathon. We took part in Family Violence Conference. We had a iftar dinner. We took part in Diwali, hand-in-hand youth and police mentorship program. We took part in SAAC Autism Charity Gala, Asian Heritage Month celebration, drug and folk seminars, newcomer resource presentations, and rules of the road info. But this shows that this committee believes in immigration and be a part of every religion and every color and every race. And this is Canada. I spent all my life in Canada. I think the reason I lived here all my life, as much as all of you, most of you are here for a long time, is this is the best country in the world. Sometimes I hate when people complain, I've been very honest to you all, but there are always shortcomings. But we have to understand this is the best. There is no other country. Even I was talking to some of my friends today, they said, Haroon, and these people have been all over the world, they picked up Canada. Canada is the best country, and we are very lucky. We are a minor percentage, very small percentage of the world God has given the chance to come. I don't know how Jake came here, he must have come. I'm sure that, if you don't know, he is a very highly executive of Rogers, so I'm sure Mr. Rogers must have sponsored him to be. So this is, and talking about the police force, I don't know how many of you ever have experiences with the police. This is the best police force in the world. This is the best police force we can even imagine. People think, and I have some of my friends sitting here, they always see police officers at my home. They are there because they are the best people we can think of. We can learn from them, and of course we can bring our problems to their attention to get resolved. Can we give a big hand to these police officers and our chief? Now again, I will once again introduce my team, Nikki, Johnny Bobley. We cannot do anything without his permission and without him being a part. He has spent a lot of time today in organizing this. Of course, we have Cornelia, we have Raja, we have Inspector Hegdes, Zul, and Sammy. This is the team, and after this, they will be mingling around you. You have anything, please consult with them. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Post real estate, I think Haroon's going to run for politics. I'm just kidding.
I just want to make sure that I won't get a parking ticket.
Yeah. No. Hey, listen, the food's being set up right now. How exciting is that? All right. And you spoke very nice words about Johnny. Johnny's wife is here, and his father-in-law, mom and dad, uncle and aunt. Dad's right there. Dad gets back row. Always, eh? Oh, wow. Very nice. And you know life is good. You know you're in good hands when your father-in-law says nice things about you. Eh? That's good. That's very good. He's a great guy. So folks, we have some other folks to thank as well. From Divisional Policing Support Unit, where Johnny works out of, we have Staff Sergeant Ron Boyce. Oh, very good. Police Constable Patty Ratsinas. Is Patty here? Yep, right back there. And also from the DPSU, our auxiliary officers, we have Auxiliary Officer Errol Kokak. Errol, good to have you. And we have Auxiliary Officer Alexandra Milosevsky. Miloshevsky? Okay. Dziękuję. Thank you. The Toronto Police Service has over 350 auxiliary officers. They annually contribute over 80,000 volunteer hours, folks. Isn't that incredible? Yes. And they're volunteering their time here tonight. Now I'd like to invite Police Constable Johnny Bobley, as well as one of the committee members, Raja Kanaga, to they have a special presentation.
Thanks, Jake. So we won't be long because the food's ready. I see it getting unwrapped. I'll just tell you very quickly, we're talking about community partnerships, and a quick story about me and Raja. Years ago, when we started our outreach into Scarborough, Raja came up to me and said, there's 3 high-rise buildings in 41 Division. These buildings are about 30 floors high, thousands of people in there. He said, why don't we start some outreach into those buildings? So we came up with a plan. And we thought we were all set. We launched it, and out of thousands of people, we had 6 people show up. So we said, okay, that didn't work. So we stepped back and we said, what are we doing wrong? And what do we need to change? And we realized that we need to start working with our community leaders, community partners, because they and you are the ones that are actually in the communities, working with them. You have the relationships. So we stepped back, we adjusted our plan. We involved community leaders and agencies, and we started to see more people start coming. And one of the next sessions we had 30 people, led up to 80 people, 110 people. We actually got kicked out of the room because we had too many people, and management was worried we were violating the fire codes. So In the year that we started, in partnership with our community leaders, we were able to reach out to about 1,000 people. And that couldn't have been done without the work of those community leaders. So it was a great lesson for me and Raja to learn, and we've always tried to thank our community leaders that are working with the communities and helping especially to build trust between the police and community members. So we have two quick presentations. I'd like to just take a minute to talk about the South Asian Autism Awareness Center, and specifically Tushant and Geeta Murthy, who are here. Tushant and I met, you can wave for a sec. Geeta? They're going to be coming up in a minute anyway. So Tushant and I actually met last year at this event, and we got to know each other. I toured the center, and I found out exactly what they do to support autism. And what I loved was so enthusiastic to involve us. And said, whatever you need, we'd love to support you. And they said the same thing back. So we participated in 2 events over the year, and because of your support, we were able to reach over 1,000 people as well. So I'd like to invite you to come up. Chief, can I have you over here on this side? You know, everybody just form a line here. Superintendent Ridzik, can you come up as well? Yeah. You'll just go over and form a line. I'm not stalling because the food's...
Food is getting cold.
Yeah, okay. All right. They'll sort it out. Geeta and Tushant, can you come up? On behalf of the Chief South and West Asian Consultative Committee, I'd like to present you with a Leadership Award. It's for your dedication in building positive relationships and making our communities safer. Geeta and Tushant, can you say a few words?
First of all, thank you so much for awarding us. This is a great honor, and like Officer Johnny said,
I'll say a few words because I know like Tushant is kind of a voice for South Asian Autism Awareness Center. But we have been very honored to be here, part of this event. And thank you, Chief, and especially Johnny. You know, like we see him on and off most of the time. He comes there and then he'll help us. He's a great support for us. And thank you so much.
Okay, so food's getting colder, so we have one more presentation. I'm going to turn it over to Raja to say a few words, please.
Hi, my name is Raja Kanaga, and this is a special award to one of my friends, KK. We always call him KK. He has been the Toronto Police for over 10 years, I think, 13 years over. And since we start the project almost 7 years, every phone call I ask him to, can you come and help us? He always come with the community. In free time, he don't come with a uniform. He come with his volunteer time, and he help us out and reach out the young youth to the seniors. And even though we went to the radio talk shows and we advise about the senior safety issues, youth violence, and we talk about the many issues. And so last 8 years we are working with the KK, and we have a special award for KK. Thank you, KK.
Go right up front.
Just want to point out, I've known KK for a number of years. This is the first time I met his mom. He actually brought her. Mom's there. Hi, Auntie. There she is in the front.
Auntie, how are you?
Yeah. KK, can you say a few words, please?
Good evening, everybody, and Chief and command officers. That's a great honor to get this award. Dear Raja and Johnny been a big help, both of them. Johnny is a great asset, I guess, Chief, for the service, and we'll continue to do whatever we can to reach out to the community, not just Tamil community, every community. And it's because when I started 13 years ago, my mom wasn't really happy about it, to tell you the truth. Okay, so I convinced her somehow, and she's very happy about it right now. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do, to especially convince the parents, mentor the parents first, to let their kids, if they decided to be a police officer, great career. If any parents here, any South Asian parents, I can never think of doing anything else other than this. I will tell you that. Okay, so even though I went to university, being an accountant and stuff, decided to do this, I can't go back and do anything else other than policing now. So it's a great honor, and I would like to thank everybody about this award. Thank you.
Are you gentlemen done? Johnny, you're done? You're done? Okay. All right. You good? Oh, he just wants to one thing.
Just to kind of fill in the blanks on a couple of things. Earlier this week, we had an award celebration, and two members of the committee, the civilian members, and one uniformed member actually won an award. And because a lot of people, the question I've been getting from the media is what do you actually do, and how do you do it? And a practical story that's so relevant is that Sammy and Raja were working with Johnny, and there was a sad case in the east side of the city where some children had been victimized. I'll just leave it at that. But the whole issue of getting victims to come forward, because we thought that there was more other victims rather, that this perpetrator had been responsible for victimizing. And so really it was the good work of Sammy and Raja in this case, but through the network of the committee, that they joined a neighborhood, and people came forward, and that was really quite touching. But as Johnny alluded to, it's not that first contact, it's that subsequent contact and that trust that made it effective for those individuals to feel safe to come forward and talk about issues that had occurred in their families. And it allowed us, again, to lay charges on this particular individual who had victimized members of our I'll say our community.
We have a new government which is determined to bring reconciliation among communities, not only in Colombo, not only in Sri Lanka, but also here. So I think what the community policing consultation, I think is very important. I don't think anyone has any doubt about it.
We are bound by a particular group of ethnicity. What we do is we interact with the other communities, and for example, if we are in Scarborough, we take Scarborough as a community, not Sri Lankan Tamils or Indian or Pakistan.
The message is that if we're going to keep any city safe, we know that success is when communities work with the police. If we work in isolation, we won't be successful. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to continue to develop our relationships by having those conversations, understanding what the cultural nuances are, understanding what the police expectations are. What does the community want the police to do, and what can we teach you so that you can be better informed? And if that happens, then you feel more safe walking the streets, and also that you're entitled to the same rights as everybody else. These are things that are so important, and when we have these types of meetings, it allows that opportunity to get that message out, and then we hope in turn the media gets that message out to the communities that are listening.
Is made up of members of the community. Either they live here, they work here, they have a business interest here.
Keeping communities safe is having a strong relationship with the community and the police working together.
Now, I have Nikki. Nikki is one of the very important member of this committee. Senior police officer, and he's a member of our committee. Inspector Angus, thank you so much for being here and giving us